royal family. I'm back, and now it is time for the shady ladies of Atlanta. Thanks for clicking on the video. So the episode opens up with Eva's baby shower. So we see that Eva is having her baby shower at her friend's house. Decor and the layout of the backyard was cute. Everyone looked very nice. Eva looked very, very beautiful. Now, I don't know what's going on between Nene and Eva now, but Nene says that none of the ladies, herself included, have been to Eva's home since she's been in Atlanta. And Nene says that Eva has moved from box to box to box. And I'm confused because I'm saying to myself, didn't Nene just apologize to Eva and try to mend fences and made everything all good? You never know with that Lenithia. You just never know. So Nene, she shows up to the party, excuse me, and she is mingling and she's socializing and she's filling Tanya in on what happened at the couples night. And Portia did let Tanya know that she was sticking up for her, which she was. This is when they were at the bowling alley. So she's letting her know that she was sticking up for her. So they're just talking about it. And excuse me, Eva arrives. So we find out that Cynthia was the planner of this baby shower. What? Anyway, Nene shows the text message in her confessional. She shows the text message proving that she did try to extend this olive branch to Kenya, and she's trying to make peace. Now, this is no defense to Kenya whatsoever. I am not in defense of Kenya. I'm not trying to defend her, and I had to make that clear. But I just feel like Nene shouldn't expect anyone to accept her olive branch just because she extends it. You know, that's just, people are going to either accept it or not. And if they don't, it doesn't make them a bad person. So I don't know. I just wonder, what is it that Nene would expect? Like, her and Kenya have had this manufactured beef for seasons. So I don't know why Nene's acting so surprised that Kenya's not accepting her olive branch. No one has to accept your olive branch. I mean, I'm just saying. So anyway, so Kenya arrives and she sits at the table with Tanya, Cynthia, and Eva. And Kenya just kind of outed herself in her confessional during this scene. She was basically comparing what she has to what Tanya has. Tanya was talking about having her plate full as it pertains to work and work-life balance, you know, her relationship, so on and so forth. So it just made me think in the moment, like, Cynthia planning Eva's baby shower. I know, I'm just going back to that. Cynthia planning Eva's baby shower. Like, are they really trying to sell us this Eva and Cynthia friendship? Whatever. Anyway, so it seems like everyone was pretty much getting along. Everything was all good. Like I said, the venue was really beautiful. Eva looked beautiful. Everyone looked fun. They played games. And I noticed that Candy, she pulled Tanya aside along with Kenya. And Candy is telling Tanya that Mark wants Tanya to invite Paul. Now, this is not Candy's event, this charity event, right? This is being hosted by Mark as well as Kenya. So why is Candy sitting down Tanya and telling her, look, you know, Mark really wants Paul to come? So Tanya says that she'll run it by Paul because he feels some type of way about the cookie lady situation, as he should. He doesn't want to be involved in that, and Kenya was basically out here slandering his name, giving a platform to this cookie lady, and what became of that? Nothing. That was short-lived. And he most likely will not be in attendance. This is what Tanya is letting them know. So this is when Kenya starts to get really nasty. They start to flash back to when Kenya apologized to Tanya and said to Tanya, oh, you've never been called out of your name in your entire life. You're 40 years old. Just nasty. Just so nasty. And I did giggle at this scene when Candy was trying to play peacemaker. I guess that's what she was trying to do, because Kenya really thought that Tanya was going to thank her and sing her praises for inviting her to this, or inviting Paul to this, this function. And it's like, no, you know what I mean? Gosh, Kenya, boy, She is her own worst enemy. And I also thought back to Greg. Remember when Greg and Nene showed up at the bowling alley? It makes me wonder. I know Greg said that he and Mark text each other and they communicate. But I wonder if Greg was under the impression that Mark sided with Kenya in reference to not inviting Nene. Because remember, when he approached him, he said to him, you know, look, Jack. He didn't say Jack, but he said, look, I can't go nowhere. My wife can't go. So, and Mark doesn't like to talk about any of this housewives drama and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure, well, it might be that when Greg and Mark were communicating, they weren't talking about any of this drama. I'm pretty Greg didn't say that he confronted Mark about Nene not being invited. So I wonder if Greg was under the impression that, well, that's his wife. His wife don't like my wife. So maybe Mark is siding with Kenya, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Well, we saw that that wasn't true. Mark was not here for the BS. Anyway, so back to Tanya. She's such a lady, okay? And I just think that Kenya should actually take notes on what class and sophistication looks and sounds and acts like. Definitely needs to take note. And her apology, her attempt at apologizing to Tanya was straight up trash, as usual. So Kenya goes on to say that she basically put Mark's event together. She's saying this in her confessional. And she did everything. So they're flashing back to meetings that they were having and Kenya speaking. And I wonder why she didn't announce this at the couples bowling event. Like, why wasn't she being braggadocious then? She was doing this all in her confessional. She probably wouldn't do that in front of Mark because Mark would probably check her. I don't know. This episode, I don't want to say it annoyed me because I don't expect much from Kenya, but this is just, come on. Like, anyway, so we move on to see Candy practicing her lines for some role that she has coming up in The Shy, I think it is, the TV show. I saw Don Juan. I fast forwarded. No thanks. If anything interesting happened during that scene, feel free to put it in the comments. But that was a smooth fast forward. So we move on to Cynthia and Kenya. So Cynthia says to herself, you know what? I'm having a little bit of trouble with Magic Mike and this book and his past and cheating. Let me call Kenya and sit down and talk with her and see if she can give me any advice. So she really sits down and talks with Kenya about her relationship with Mike. And I just shook my head. And Kenya starts talking about herself and her relationship and how she can relate to Cynthia. No, sweetie. You can't relate to Cynthia. Magic Mike is head over heels in love with Cynthia. Mark doesn't even want to be in the same room as you. There's a difference. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. So Kenya said that it is difficult for Mark to admit that he does anything wrong. And then I said, are y'all twins? Really? I just feel like Kenya has no advice for Cynthia in this moment. And why Cynthia would even want to sit down and talk with Kenya. But then again, she probably has no one else to talk to about this. Cynthia's just a fool, right? Isn't she a fool sitting there listening to Kenya, telling Kenya any of her business? And Cynthia did tell Ken about Mike cheating in his past relationships and says that, no, Kenya, what did she say? Kenya says that a cheater, you can't trust a cheater because a cheater is a liar. And do good men cheat? Again, she just made this all about her. And it was just so annoying. You can tell my energy level is like, I just want to get to the reunion. I just find it funny that a lot of these women, some of them, or just women, period, Kenya specifically, is in such a rush to get married. Cynthia too. They're in such a rush to get married, and they're not in a rush to get to know their partners. And then when they get further along into their relationship and get married, get engaged, get married, they're taken aback by things that are revealed to them that they had no idea about. Yeah, if you would have taken your time and got to know your spouse, you wouldn't be blindsided by all of this. I just guess keeping up appearances is more important because that's what it all seems like. You know, and, you know, Cynthia really gets on my nerves, y'all. I'm going to keep it real. Cynthia, you know, she's not going to call out Kenya about her foolishness. just straight clownery. I just straight up clownery. Anyway, so we move on to Nene. She calls her good Judy at the moment, Wendy Williams, and I don't know if this was a good idea to film. Wendy doesn't care, but it just seemed, I don't know if it really seemed genuine, but whatever. Nene has to get her camera time. I'm not mad at it. So Nene says that she's hesitant about going to Greece with the other ladies because of Kenya, and she said that she reached out to Kenya several times, and she's pretty much getting iced. And again, I don't understand why Nene is taken aback by this. What do you expect Kenya to do? But I guess it keeps Nene looking like, see, I'm the one reaching out, and Kenya's the horrible person. I get it. Kenya would do the same thing. So Wendy tells her that, you know, she's a good friend and to let Kenya bury herself because her true colors will eventually show. Yes, Wendy, we know. You know all about true colors showing, huh? So Wendy starts gossiping about Candy and Todd, trying to get information, and I just started laughing. So that conversation ended quickly. And she just told Nene to give those girls love and friendship. And it's like, okay, that was cheesy, and it didn't seem genuine. But again, whatever. Because Nene and Wendy, they were beefing for a very long time. We move on to Kenya and Mark. So Kenya says that Mark likes his women to take care of him. Really? Kenya, what marriage are you in? Because nothing adds up. Kenya says one thing, makes you think that, oh, the relationship is one way. And then Mark, you see his actions. It's like, girl, paging Kenya, come back to earth. What relationship are you in? So she says that Mark likes for his women to take care of him. So she decided to pick out his outfit for the charity event. So Kenya is really sad. I'm not I'm not defending her. I'm not giving her a pass on her behavior, but she is really sad. And I almost feel, I slightly feel sorry for her, only because as a viewer, this is so sad to watch. Like, this is a prime example of someone who needs a man to feel validated and needs to be accepted. It's just, ugh. So we move on to the Black Man's Lab. This is the fundraiser, y'all. So here we go. So Cynthia and Mike, they arrived first. Mark comes in after, and it looks like he's talking to like the DJ and the people that are setting up. Cynthia and Mike, they were talking to one of the, I don't know if he was a member of the Black Men's Lab, a representative or whomever. So Mark walks in, and he does walk past them, and he, you know, talks to the DJ, it looks like, or whoever was setting up. And he talked to a few more other people, and then he came over to Cynthia and Mike and started talking to them. So Cynthia says that she feels a way about that because Mark didn't even come right over and acknowledge her and Mike. And it's just like, mind you, Cynthia, like I said, they were there standing there talking to someone. But whatever, if Cynthia's offended, then all right, fine, just be offended. Ugh, God. Anyway, so Kenya, she's been out in the car. Kenya's been out in the car for like 30 minutes, and she calls Mark on the phone to come and get her. She's just so juvenile. God, like everything just has to be about her. Like she just does the dumbest things for attention. It's like, girl, you pushing 50. You too old for this. You're too old for this. So Tanya, she arrives without Paul. So the guests are starting to roll in, okay? And the seating becomes an issue. Now, I was wondering, when they entered the venue, there are two women sitting at a table. So what were they doing? Like there were no place cards on the table. What was going on? Because I remember Kenya was saying something about the seating arrangement, and Mark was like, the seating arrangement is fine, leave it be. So it kind of makes me wonder, did Kenya go behind his back and try to switch things around, and that's why there was all this chaos around seating? So she wants to shade Tanya. Kenya, you know, Kenya wanted to, she came by herself. Shamia was supposed to come, I think it was, right? And Shamia didn't show up, and someone else didn't come. So Tanya decides to sit next to Portia. Portia's like, girl, you could sit next to me because, you know, Shamia ain't coming. Kenya goes over and is like, no, this is your table. And it's like, girl, there was, what? Oh. Marlo arrives with her nephews. They looked great. Her nephews looked so handsome. Marlo looked so classy. They looked nice. And at this point, the event has started already. Okay, so I think Mark was on the microphone addressing the crowd. And Marlo, she just wanted to sit somewhere. So Kenya calls to her and directs her like, hey, Marlo, you're sitting here. This could be due to editing, but I didn't really see that she was very clear as to where she was going to sit. I don't know. And that was a huge distraction because here it is, the event has started, everyone is seated, Mark is addressing the crowd, and you have Kenya standing up saying to Marlo, this, that, and the third thing. I don't know. Kenya said Marlo didn't RSVP and she brought 2 other guests with her. First of all, those are her nephews. Young black boys who are going to grow up to be black men. And the event was geared toward mentorship for young black men. So her 2 other guests, I don't even think Kenya said hi to them, right? She didn't even say hi to Marlo's nephews. Real classy, Kenya. I don't know. What else happened? People say that Mark has control issues, and that very well may be true. But doesn't Kenya? Anyway, because I know people are going to be like, no, Marlo is this, Nene is this, Kenya, they hating on Kenya. You've seen her behavior for the past couple of episodes. No one has to say anything negative about Kenya. Just watch the show. You see the foolishness that goes on with her. Marlo decides to leave because she steps to the back because they couldn't get the seating right. So she decides to leave and she's telling her nephews on the way out, don't let anyone treat you like you're second class. Not mad at it. I've oftentimes said that to my younger cousins as well and my little one. It's true. I've been told that. Now, was Marlo overreacting? I don't know. I don't know because, again, it didn't look like Kenya was very clear as to where Marlo was going to be sitting. And there were a few empty spaces. So all that getting up, Kenya, to be seen. And this is when Cynthia, Eva, her pregnant self, and Portia, they go out to check on Marlo. So again, during the event, you got people getting up one by one. At this point, Candy and Todd, they're coming in. So they convince Marlo to come back. So she comes back and she sits down. Cynthia's upset yet again. Why? Because after Mark gave his speech, she says that she noticed that he did not acknowledge Kenya. He did not, shout her out. He did not call her up to the stage to accompany him while he was addressing the crowd. She said that really bothered her. This was a mess. And, Mark was really pissed off because this is the very thing that he did not want. He's on record as saying that he does not want to have anything to do with the show. But then again, I asked, why are you on the show then? Do you not have the option to not be on the show? So again, the girls, they talk to Marlo. Marlo ends up coming back. Nene and Greg, they were late too. But Greg, he got up on the mic. Mark asked Cynthia's man, Mike, to pretty much talk. And he was kind of thrown off guard because he wasn't expecting that. And it looked like he was the MC of the night, right? He was always on the mic. So anyway, so after all the speech is done and stuff like that, Marlo goes up to Mark and he addresses her nephews, thanks for coming, this, that, and the third. And Marlo tries to talk to Mark about the seating arrangement. You could tell Mark is like, I'm not with the drama. He doesn't want to hear it at all. But I just believe Kenya knew exactly what she was doing. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I think that Kenya knew what she was doing because she has a pattern of doing this thing, everything she has to sabotage. It's so old and it's annoying. Cynthia, as usual, makes excuses for Kenya. Oh, Kenya, there's a lot of misplaced anger because I know that there's a lot going on between her and Mark. Mark didn't even acknowledge her. I'm like, are you serious, Cynthia? So before Mark came into the picture and Kenya was acting like a donkey in previous seasons, what was the excuse? I don't get it. Another question. Again, why didn't these tables have place cards? This seemed like a very classy event. We had some heavy hitters in the building. They were calling out how much this one donated. Why weren't there any place cards? Like I said, I believe that Kenya went behind Mark and changed up some of the seating arrangements just to be spiteful. Someone asked Mark, hey, how are you enjoying marriage? I don't even know who it was that asked him. He said, I hate it. Yeah, I hate it. Everyone knows that. Now, I wonder if that if what he said was kind of pieced together by editing. Like, I wonder if that is his response to what that person asked him. We're not going to find out till the reunion because, again, we know that editing, they chop things out, they cut things up. So what did he say that he hated? Did he really say that he hates being married? Or was there like a missing scene? Because we know that Bravo likes to tuck away these scenes and then throw them at us all randomly. Anywho. Nene says that Kenya and Mark's relationship seems like an arrangement and she never sees them lovey-dovey. Now, Nene, I know that you are getting your life with all of this. But sis, word on the street is your marriage ain't all that solid. I'm just saying. And I like Nene. I'm just saying, be careful. Now, the editing did seem to be all over the place because this is when stuff started to get crazy. Like, Mark was mic'd up. You see a black screen. He's complaining about editing. He's saying that this is invasive. And you can tell from certain little clips that he was so tired of the camera being in his darn face. He was so tired of it. He was tired of Kenya. I think that he realized that there was drama going on throughout the episode and he was totally over it. You know, Kenya's going around telling everybody how classless Marlo is and she didn't pay for a seat and the seats were $250 a pop. And where's her $750? She didn't put in this and she didn't donate that. Tacky, 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 tacky. Kenya has always been tacky to me. I'm just saying. So it's just so crazy. It like how Cynthia was really, I mean, Kenya was trying to give Cynthia advice, right? In the previous scene. And she was throwing shade at Tanya and worrying about all the smoke going on in Tanya's kitchen. Meanwhile, Kenya, your whole kitchen and your whole house is burning down to the ground in front of everybody. You know, I just, it's crazy. Like Mark, he just seemed like he does not want to be on the show. But again, why are you on the show if you don't want to be on the show? Like, no one is forcing you to do this. Or is this a part of you and Kenya's arrangement? Who knows? So just Mark is like on the other side. And then Kenya goes into saying, oh God, Kenya goes into saying, you know, all the other couples are lovey-dovey and I don't have that. Girl, your jealousy is showing, girl. Tuck your jealousy in. See, how do I want to say this? I'm trying not to say and but the fact that you pointed out all of what the other couples have, to me, it just looks like the only reason why you wanted to rush this marriage and get a ring on your finger and be Mrs. So-and-so and, you know, have a baby and have the picture perfect family is so that you can turn around and throw that in people's faces. You oftentimes say to Tanya, your fiance, my husband. You know, it's almost as if you wanted this to happen because you want people to be jealous of you. You've convinced yourself that people are jealous of you. That's why they treat you the way they treat you. And it annoys me sometimes when people just throw the jealousy card out there. Has it ever occurred to you that you just are not a likable person? Like, it's possible for people to not have an ounce of jealousy or envy. They just don't like you because you're a jerk. Like, Kenya is a straight up jerk. And I know that people like her. That's fine. I like Nene. But I can say when Nene is being a jerk, come on now. I don't feel sorry for her. It's just too much drama at this event. And this scene was a mess. It was all over the place. And I don't think that we're going to get the real deal until the reunion. And I can't wait because Nene was on Watch What Happens Live. And I don't know what she was sipping on, but Nene was on one. She and Marlo were on Watch What Happens Live. I was watching, what was I watching? I think Shaws of Sunset. And it was a little commercial snippet for Watch What Happens Live. And Nene cursed. She said, F that B. Oh my God. They didn't have time to bleep it out. Yo, Nene was on one. She said, when we get to the reunion, I'm going to read you down. I don't know. It's just going to be a mess. And then Mark, he issued a public apology recently the other day on social media to the Black Men's Lab. And he did take full responsibility for all the drama that took place. And this is when Kenya's like, oh, she misses where her and Mark used to be as far as their relationship. And I'm like, where were y'all? I'm confused. Like, you married somebody that you didn't know and you tried to make him be something that he not. So of course it's going to backfire on you. Like, what's wrong with you? All because you want to be able to throw this in people's faces. I am not buying that fairy tale foolishness with her. She said 4 months after dating, I was hoping that he asked me to marry him because I would say yes. Girl, bye. She is jealous of what the other women have. And come hell or high water, she is going to show them up. That's what she's been displaying all season long. It's backfiring in her face. She hates it. She's embarrassed. She should be. Harsh words, I know, but I see this all the time with people. Like, Kenya had no respect or decency for anyone else's relationships or marriages. Like, she took pleasure in attempting to come between people's friendships and come between people's relationships. She took pleasure in that. So I just feel like this is a return on your investment, sweetie. Like, I said what I said. I don't feel sorry for Kenya. I don't. And here's why. Because Kenya is not a victim. I see people say, you know, they comment things and stuff like that. Kenya is a victim. A victim of what? Kenya is a volunteer. There's a huge difference. She's not a victim. She has the ability to get up, regardless of how embarrassing it is. You put yourself in this position. You have the ability to get up and exit stage right or left. You're not a victim, honey. Not in this situation as it pertains to Mark. You are a volunteer. And again, come hell or high water, you are going to show up these ladies. You want to flaunt that rock. You want to say that you're Mrs. So-and-so. You want to talk down to people who are not married. Word on the street is you're not even married legally. Just saying, it's an arrangement according to Nene. And a lot of people feel that way. So I feel strongly about this. I don't feel sorry for her. This woman has, I don't even want to go down memory lane, but you know what she's done and what she has said to people, about people. You tried to defame Paul's character, tried to cause mess, and then have the audacity to want him to come to this event? Girl, are you crazy? Yes, the answer to that is yes, but I've been on here rambling for a long time. Like I said, bottom line is this episode should have been entitled Misery Loves Company, because Kenya, you are miserable and you make everybody else around you miserable, and I don't feel sorry for you. Yeah, it sucks, but again, I have to wonder, why this man doesn't like you. Like, you don't see that? You're not convincing us of anything. So I don't know if you're trying to make yourself look like, you know, oh, Vic, this happened to me, and make Mark look bad, or you really are in La La Land and you are forcing something to fit that just doesn't fit. I don't get it. So again, I don't feel that Kenya is a victim in this situation with her husband, Mark. She is a volunteer, and she is going to bat for this because she does not want to, she doesn't want to be embarrassed. She did all this talking, all this hyping up, and it seems like everything is falling apart at the seams, and she just doesn't want to admit it. So at the end of the episode, it did state that this is when they filed for divorce. Who knows? I don't even know if they're back together or not. This could all be fake. You know, Kenya could actually be a good actress and be faking this thing so that she can stay on the show. I wouldn't be mad at that. You know, work ain't honest, but it pays the bills, right? Mark, he says that you'll never see me again. He doesn't want to be on the show again. You can hear him saying that on his mic. And what do I want to say about Mark? I would like to know, Mark, if you don't want to be on this show, why are you on the show? That's what I would really want to know. I don't think there's anything else I would want to know. That would be a good reunion question. What was in it for you? What were you getting out of being on the show? And I don't want to hear, oh, I was trying to make things work and, you know, be a team player with my wife. Nah, I don't want to hear that because that's BS. Were they breaking you off with some money? Royal family, that's all I got. So hopefully you enjoyed the commentary. It just got on my nerves. This episode just got on my nerves. And I know my energy is like, irritated. But yeah, like I said, I don't feel sorry for that girl. I don't feel sorry for that woman at all. Anyway, so if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for hanging out with me. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the commentary. Be sure to check out some of the other content right here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. We would love to have you join our royal family. Most importantly, get down in the comments. Please keep it respectful. You don't have to agree with me. I know the Kenya lovers will not. That's fine, but you can respectfully disagree. So I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Come on, shed some light on this situation. Let me know about Kenya and Mark. I know people are going to say Mark is a narcissist. So is Kenya. Mark is controlling. So is Kenya. Mark is rude. So is Kenya. So what's the difference? Royal family, I'm signing off. Until next time, peace.